and welcome to another episode of This Is Our Year.
Hello.
Hello. It's almost America's birthday, Doug. Red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue.
It's the only shirt I could find that was red, white, and blue right now.
Hey,
Except for
nothing wrong with that.
Triumph motorcycles, but that's British, so I can't do that.
No, you can't do that. Austin's hipster. Is that American anymore? I don't know.
Oh
It's like,
no, yeah, that's if you listen to the right politicians,
yeah, down there
no
in
bueno.
Texas. What do you think the Texas politicians want to do with Austin? Do you think they like Austin, or do you think they hate Austin?
I mean, yeah, Elon moved there. He's a neo-fascist, right? No,
He,
I mean,
well, he,
I think they deal with it just because all the money that comes in, right? You don't see their governor who has his own issues. You don't see him going after like I don't know which woke companies are in Austin. All of them, Apple, Google. Whatever. Like fuck that shit. We were there. We were there last week, and it was a hell of a time. Shout out to John and Hillary, Jason and Meg, and all the great people we saw down in Texas. Man, it was a good time.
Yeah. Did you go to Austin City Limits or were you just buying the shirt?
So I thought I was because we saw a concert on Sunday. It was the Smile, and it turns out it was at the other. There's like two ACLs. There's an Austin City something. We went to that, and that was a beautiful venue, but it's not the one that's on TV. Apparently, it's not like the
Okay.
PBS show, which is a
Okay.
different Austin City Limits. But
Hey,
there you go. Yeah.
Austin is like, I don't know. I think New Orleans came first, then Nashville, then Austin, right? And they're all like iterations of each other in some sort of way. And Austin is, I think, the last one, but I think they got a lot of things right. I think
What
the
are you
last
talking about?
time,
Like southern blow up
like
towns?
live
Because like
music all the time. Yeah, live
okay,
music all the
like I'd
time.
throw
Like
Portland in there too, but sure.
I've never
But
been to
yeah,
Portland, and Portland's. I'm talking about like southern. Yeah, definitely
yeah,
down that way, right? Because New Orleans
sure.
always had live music for years.
Oh yeah, Memphis too. I've heard. I've never been there.
I've never been to Memphis, so
Like Beale
that's a
Street.
failure on my part. Failure on my part. That's where Elvis got started, right? That was a
That's right.
great movie, by the way. If you didn't see the Elvis Presley movie that
Dude,
they
I could
just
not
came out
make
with,
it. I'm sorry. I couldn't make it through that movie.
you hated it.
We're
Oh,
it's not like we hated it, but like I think Jenny and we tried it a couple of different times. It was on HBO, and we just kept getting distracted by Fat Hanks. Just
what?
it was so
What's Fat
distracting. For
Hanks?
Tom Hanks is
Oh,
300
Fat Tom
pounds.
Hanks. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Yes, that was. Those was really, I mean, the guy that did the movie, I can't remember. He's like this Australian director. He did like
Yeah, it's a Baz.
he did like Moulin Rouge and
yeah, he did
all
the
those like
old
musical
remember the Leonardo Romeo and Juliet
Romeo
from
and
the
Juliet
90s.
with
He
Claire
did
Danes. Yeah,
Gatsby recently.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he's an interesting director.
Yeah, dude, he's got a style. It was
So I,
and
I
the
liked
guy
it though.
I didn't think the guy looked or really sounded like Elvis either. So I don't know. This is a me problem as usual, but
I hated that movie.
yeah, I just
Sounds
couldn't finish
familiar.
it. Yeah.
It was good. I thought it was good. It was entertaining. It was entertaining. And I tried to get Melody to watch it because she's a big Elvis
Yeah.
fan, and she fucking refused to watch it. I'm like, Mom, they just made this movie about
See,
Elvis.
Mel.
I don't want to. I don't want to see him in any other light than I remember him. I'm like, well, that was like
Yeah, there you go.
50.
Because
It's like
she's a
45 years
real one.
ago.
She's a
Yes,
real one.
my mother was one of those girls throwing panties on stage back in the 70s. I don't
I
know if
I
she
com,
ever.
oh they during the fat Elvis phase. That's
Yes,
outstanding. The drunken pilled up Elvis comeback tour.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, you
dude.
see, if they make like a Beastie Boys biopic in 20 years with some shithead, I'm gonna be like your mom, be like, nope,
No,
no,
they're gonna
sorry,
they're gonna have like
and and it's gonna be like
Jason
fat,
Schwartzman play Ad
yeah,
Rock.
yeah, or no, like Jason Schwartzman Jr. And there's gonna
Right.
be like a fat Paul Rudd in it, and we're just not gonna. It's gonna win 20 Oscars, but
Ione Sky is gonna play herself.
yeah, hopefully. I bet she's
Oh
still got
god.
it. I haven't seen Ione in a while, but
Oh
she was the
man.
cheese and he was the macaroni.
That's right. That's right. Well, now he's married to some other like activist woman person.
Yeah, he's married to Kathleen Hanna.
Who?
Kathleen Hanna. She's been in a couple of bands herself. She's New York City, awesome lady.
Who?
Yeah, activist. Sure, definitely political
Music. Good music. Good
feminist.
music.
Good
Yes.
music. Yes. Uh, yeah, man. Austin was a hell of a time. Vegas was a hell of a time. What have you been up to?
When was the last time we did a show? I don't
I looked. It
remember.
was a couple. It was actually June 17th, which I don't really remember. But
Was that after I got home from Tennessee or before I left for
yeah,
Tennessee?
maybe. I was just home from Vegas.
Yeah, so I
Um,
went to Tennessee when you went to Vegas, and then we just got back from Yosemite and Santa Barbara. Did
oof.
our first family road trip with the baby. Did our anniversary trip. So all those things were
What
good.
you drove the baby up to Yosemite?
Yeah,
Nice.
we drove to Yosemite. We did a day
Jeez.
in the park. It's super cool because the only good thing about the what for those of you that don't live in Southern California, and why would you if this is a fucking New York sports podcast? Um, it's been like fucking Seattle here, and it's been raining since January 1st. And the only good thing about that is that there's a super bloom now in places like Yosemite, and so the waterfalls are gushing, and the fields are overflowing with wildflowers of different colors, and everything's green and lush. And that's not normally what California looks like in general. So it was
That's
cool
good to
though.
hear.
It was cool. We took the drought's over, which is cool, but I didn't move to fucking California for the drought. So,
Right, man.
um,
It was triple digits in Texas the whole time. Um,
ugh, it sounds
we had
miserable.
we had a pool. We went out on Lake Travis one day. We couple pools actually. We had it covered. Um,
Good.
but yeah, I know people move to Texas for reasons, but I hope you're ready if you're going to do that for what looks like is going to be like a normal summer now. It's going to be like triple digits the whole like
Yeah,
June
my
through
buddy
August.
moved from San Diego to I think he lives in like Dallas, outside of Dallas, the
Yeah.
Metroplex as they call it,
Mm.
and he described it to me as hotter than a dog's mouth, and that
Yeah.
just makes sense.
I've heard dogs other things too, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So, well, what are you drinking today, Doug?
hey
We've
man, yeah, we forgot. Didn't have much American in the fridge either, so I don't know, man. I'm having a farmhouse ale called Till. We're stealing from the Till today, and just like in Roadhouse, and it's out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Uh, fuck off Hurricanes, right?
yeah.
And UNC. So hey, nice little beer. It is episode 50. Are you drinking?
I did not know it was episode 50.
I told
So
you last time.
I know, but that was like as we just discussed 3 weeks ago. So I don't remember what I did yesterday.
That's a
But
good point. It's a good point.
I could
Yep.
run inside real quick
You,
and put all of our viewers on pause, or we could just go with me drinking nothing.
do you have someone who may be able to bring you a drink?
No, I would have to
Uh,
run inside and grab said drink, but I'm okay with that. I'll be right back.
do it.
You keep
I'll
this
hold it
flowing
down.
here.
I'll
There is a
work on my
big trade
stand up.
right now. Why don't we talk about that trade? Why don't
All
you
right.
look that up?
Let's see what
The Mets
happened
made a
here.
huge move.
The
Huge move.
Mets.
Huge.
The
The Mets
Mets
just made
have
a
made a
huge trade.
trade. This is breaking
This is
news.
breaking news. I'll be right back.
Breaking news, everybody. The Mets don't have my glasses on. Have acquired. Oh my God! And he's a former Met, the legendary Chris Flexen returns to Queens with someone named Trevor Gott. I think his dad was in the majors too. Jimmy Gott, Jim Gott, Trevor Gott. What the fuck did we? We sent Zach Muckenhern. Wow. Yeah. So, as Mike said, blockbuster trade. Hey, and here's a little bonus for you guys. It's an animal. Oh, yeah, that's what I get. I'm now massless. Mike, hurry up. This dead air isn't as easy as it looks on TV. killed my mouse. You killed it.
Okay, viewers, thank you.
All right, that was some of our best content ever. I gotta say.
Yes. Well,
Let me
thank
let me
you.
just pick
Thank
the
you.
mouse up off the floor. All right, we're back in business.
So, uh, uh, cheers, Douglas.
Cheers, and Sadie says Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, Sadie.
Get out of here. Ooh, what you got?
Happy 50th. I had an open bottle of this cab that we went to this wine dinner for from Denner Wines in Paso Robles, Central Coast, California. This is called Mother of Exile. It's like I don't know what you like in your Cabernet, but this is like on the fucking more punch you in the face, like
Nice.
dry, like earthy wine. So
Ooh,
it
I
was
like
open.
nice earthy wine. Drop a couple of gummy bears into the cab.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
oh,
Cheers.
cheers.
Happy
50th
50th.
to,
Not
to
including season zero. Not including season zero.
not including season 0. If we're including that, is episode 69, baby. No, I don't know what episode it is, but
I don't
uh,
either.
who's number 50? Sid Fernandez
Benny
and
Agbayani.
Benny Agbayoni. I couldn't think of anybody else in any sport.
That's number 50.
Yeah,
I don't know if did the Isles ever have
they
someone
might have had a
number
goalie or
50,
something.
like a goalie. I feel like there was a goalie that was number 50.
Like Rollison or somebody like that. Go with that if you want.
Yeah, I don't think he was 40. I think he was 40,
Oh
but
no, he was 40. My
someone
bad.
was 50 though. But and then the Nets, they definitely had someone 50.
Benoit Benjamin, maybe.
Man, he was double zero actually.
Ah,
But like someone like some
who was that?
stupid center.
Who was that guy with the mullet? Yeah, the big ass guy. I think he died, unfortunately. It's
I'm
an
gonna look this up.
early '90s legend. Speaking of not remembering
Hold on,
anything.
let's look. Let's look. Buck Williams was number 50. It says.
Okay, hey, retired number and everything. Did he ever make the Hall, Buck? Probably
I
not.
don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Three players in Nets history were number 50. They were John Williamson. No clue who that is. That was in the 79-80. Uh,
Oh, I thought of the guy's name.
what's
Go
that?
ahead. Dwayne
What's the,
Shincius.
yes. His father was like a Hall of Famer. Um,
I did not know that.
Dolph
Dolph.
Shensis.
No, that you're thinking of
Yeah.
Dolph Shays, man.
Yeah.
Because
Dwayne.
the Shays guy went to Syracuse. Danny.
Ah, Danny Shays. Okay. Yes. Then I'm completely wrong. Oh
Different
no, that is
right
wrong.
center
That was
'90s.
players that scored 50 in a game. Who is number 50 on the Nets?
Yeah, it was
Joseph Malcolm.
Buck sounded right, but I guess not.
Yeah, I don't know if he. I don't. That doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, enough of this dumb shit that we're
Yeah,
talking
this
about here.
garbage. Flush it.
Garbage.
Flush it.
So, did you talk
Uh,
about the Mets trade?
yeah. Hey, we have an old friend coming home, huh?
Well, not no. So that's the funny part. So we traded. So this is a nice thing about Steve being the owner. We traded Zach Muckenhern, who
Right.
is a career minor leaguer,
40,
28 or
40
29.
man fodder. Yeah.
Yeah, 30, almost 30 years old, lefty. Traded him to the Seattle Mariners. And this seems to be a salary dump for Seattle because they got Chris Flexen's salary off their books, which we took on, which I don't know, I'm probably guessing a couple million. He was a relief pitcher. He's not, I don't think he's making that much. And then we got a guy named Trevor Gott, who I guess has 1.5 years of as another year of contract after this one, and has had some pretty decent years as a middle reliever. So, guy for the bullpen. We immediately designated Flexen for assignment. So,
Interesting. Okay, so Flexen was like just
it looks like a
garbage
salary
part of the
dump.
trade.
Let's.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Like
we
I know
immediately.
he like came back from Korea really good, right?
He
After
had a
flaming out
good
with the
year,
Mets
like in
like a couple
2021.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 2021 he had a really good year.
He's back to
2022,
garbage again.
yeah, they designated him for assignment last week. So let's take a look real quick. Let's just take a look and see how much
And is
we.
Trevor Gott related to Jim Gott? That's what I was talking about when you were gone.
I don't think so, but maybe. Let's take a look here. Chris Flexen.
This whole show is just us looking at computers.
Yeah,
This is
Trevor
great.
Gott is arbitration eligible, making 1.2 million, and Chris Flexen. Uh, I don't know. I don't see him anywhere on here, so I don't know. Maybe he's
Doesn't
on the
look like
Mets.
Trevor Gott is son of Jim Gott. Oh well.
Oh well. Let's see. New York Mets update. Maybe that'll help.
Jim Gott had 34 saves for the 1988 Pirates. There you go.
Jim got 34 saves. Like it. Well, we're not going to get the answer to this question either, Doug. This
Well,
is
we're
stupid.
off to a shitty start here. Just like the
uh,
Mets.
happy for dude.
It's not even a start. It's half the season, and they're dog shit. So
They just won their first series in a month.
they did. Good job, guys.
What do
Yeah,
you think is?
they
What do you
had
think's the problem? What do you think's the
everything,
problem, Doug?
everything. But I was gonna say they have like what 2 or 3 weeks to go on a tear. Otherwise, just fucking sell this thing off.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
some seasons just don't work.
some seasons just don't work. And what do you think it was this season though? Because we've
Oh,
talked
dude,
about the
it
pitching.
was a ton of things, but
We talked about the pitching.
Starting
Yeah,
with Diaz, and then the starting rotation fell apart.
which put a bunch of tax on the
Yeah,
bullpen, and we've had a bunch of AAA guys in that bullpen that no one seems to be able to have a.
yeah.
No one's having a career year. Everyone is either having a below average to career worst year this year,
Well
offensively
said.
and defensively. It's like the
And
perfect storm. But
other
that
than
le-
Tommy Pham, wow.
which sell him for whatever you can get at
Yeah,
the deadline. But
please, prospect
what
magnet.
what I'm worried about is the thing that not everyone's talking about. A couple years ago we had Lindor and McNeil get into it with the famous "there was a rat in the fucking or a raccoon in a clubhouse" issue, right? And they,
Certainly was.
and they definitely were fighting each other in the clubhouse that time, right? So
Oh yeah,
they clearly didn't like each other 2 years ago. Last year, Jeff came back and was, I'm not going to be such a, he seems like a grinding personality, probably super intense. And Lindor seems like the happiest, like laid back guy. And I'm sure that they just clash. And
like Lindor tries to lead too, right? So I'm sure like Jeff, it just Jeff didn't like it, right? But they both responded last year to having really damn good years, right?
yep. And they're
They're
both long term
yeah,
pieces of this future of this team. And Lindor had said last year that he promised to get Jeff a car if he won the batting title.
right.
And that car still hasn't been purchased. And there has been a lot of illusion to the fact that there is a clubhouse rift.
Okay, uh, is this a real thing? Because I know we're in New York. You get clicks on kind of stories like this.
I saw it brought up
Have there,
numerous times on from different people on Twitter. I don't know.
right. So,
So
which is why I'm asking if it's a real thing. Like, do we have any quotes from anyone inside the Mets, even anonymous, or are
no,
we just trying to think of things like
just
what's
those
wrong?
things.
Okay,
I don't know, man. I don't know. Is there a locker room issue? Do we have the guys where we haven't heard a lot from Pete this year? Pete's usually boisterous out front. He's been kind of quiet. I don't know if that has anything to do with lack of a
I think
contract.
I don't know, man. I think the vibe has just been bad since the injury with Diaz. I They haven't looked themselves all year, and I don't think it's because they're bad now. I think it would help if McNeil didn't have an 87 OPS plus, right? And a lot of other guys. I mean, I'm not going to single out Lindor. Lindor's doing fine, I guess. Like especially the power numbers, right?
He's having a better year from every perspective except for batting average
Yeah,
at this
which
point than he
whatever.
did last year.
I mean,
So,
it's he's not having a better year than last year by hitting wise, but I'm not like on him, right? Like he was like a 130 OPS. I think he's like a 107 now. I just if you want to make it about one thing, like I mean, sure, but I just think it's everything. Like
Yeah, it's just like one of those unlucky
it's just
fucking
like a
seasons. I
bad
mean,
year. Yeah.
they just literally had one of the worst months they've ever had,
Right.
ever in the history of the franchise, with a team, the highest paid team, and that doesn't help. And so that puts a target on their back. And we got, dickheads like Buster Olney and whoever else writing these fucking stupid stories because they want to hate on the Mets because they're hateable because they've spent so much money.
Well,
They went from 3.5 games behind the Braves on June 1st to 18
oh,
and a
dude,
half
yeah.
games.
I mean,
So
we've been doing this show like once every 2 weeks. So if we go back to episode 48, I have they were 30 and 28 in second place on, as you said, June 3rd, like exactly a calendar month ago, and
right,
they went 8 and since then.
8-20, 8-20. Stupid.
It's awful. Um, Also, like June was a busy month for me. I didn't watch him for like a week last week. I didn't watch the Philly meltdowns or whatever.
I mean, it was. I haven't watched since
I,
I think the two weeks ago when we were 30-28 because they were becoming unwatchable, and I can't enjoy it when blowing every fucking lead. It's not fun.
yeah,
I think the last game I watched was I turned them on when they were playing Philly. Happened to be like on the Peloton or whatever, and I turned them on, and it was just they blew that game. They were up like 6-3 in the ninth,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh, we're gonna win this game,
Oh,
and I
was
shut it
that the
off.
Robertson one?
I was one of them,
'Cause
and now everyone's question.
he was like the last guy to blow one, and he finally did. You're right. Like Ottavino's been terrible. We could go down the list.
Yep, and everyone wants to
Um,
shit on Buck now for his, everything he's doing, and it's just been, it's
yeah,
been rough, man. It's been really
but
rough
then
to.
again, like you're gonna fire more people.
Well, I think that's what I appreciate about Steve coming out and saying no one's
Yeah,
getting fired this year. It's getting late in the season. Everyone, we're not going to be able to make this turnaround if we just start firing people to make you guys feel happy that someone got fired, so that we can have something to talk about. And I think it's prudent. I think Buck Showalter has been here for long enough that he can finish out the season at the very least. I don't
yeah.
think he's the issue. I don't think he's the issue. I think the issue is that we're not performing, and the guys on the field got to perform. And I think Cohen said that very succinctly. Like the players are the ones that are responsible for how we play. So that's why I think why like we had such a good year last year. What has we didn't have much turnover. We replaced some of our starting pitching, and with older starting pitching, I think
Well, no,
I
they replaced 3/5 of the rotation.
right. But
That's that's
and
major.
we replaced a bunch of the bullpen as well.
Yeah,
So, but we kept most of the lineup, and the
right.
lineup's underperformed, and the pitching has underperformed. And I don't know if people want to blame Hefner. I think firing him would be a humongous mistake. I think Chavez getting promoted from hitting coach to bench coach can have a bit to do with the regression. I know he's still on the team, and we got these two associate hitting coaches that I don't know who they are, but I don't think that helps us at all. And I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's why I think maybe there is a vibe in the locker room that's negative, and maybe that's why these guys aren't coming to fight for that uniform, and they're not on the same page, and they're just each other's enemies right now. So
Yeah, it's more than possible. All right, Marte's been crap for the
I
most
don't
part.
think he ever recovered from surgery. I think that's
Yeah.
part of the issue. I think he rushed back and just
Um,
is a
you
shell.
know, at this point, we're watching Max and Verlander, and they're having some decent starts here. So, but I'm looking at them now like, oh, okay, what can we get for these guys, right?
They pretty much
So,
said they're not moving neither
yeah,
of them. They're going to
I
move
mean,
anyone on a 1 year deal. That's who's going. So Pham, Robertson, Rayleigh. If they can get anything for Vogelback, Canna, those are your guys that are going to get gone. And if it's any indication that we're going to overpay to move their contracts, pay for the rest of their salary, eat it to get a better prospect back. It's what we've done in the last two trades. You know,
Yeah,
I don't know how good Trevor Gott's going to be, but I mean, it's just the willingness
can't hurt.
to take on flexing salary, whatever it may be, to eat that salary to get a better player. Same thing with the Escobar deal. I mean, we took on his salary to get better prospects, and
Yeah,
who knows what
like
these guys are going to be. But
that Crow guy might contribute next year.
yeah,
I don't know, man. Like
I don't know either.
it
But
sucks because like it was all about these optional relievers like coming in the season, and they've all that's blown up in their faces, man. Brigham's been bad. Curtis isn't even here.
yep,
That Leon sucks. I don't know, man.
Rayleigh's not been
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I mean, he's all right, but like again, overused. But at
Drew
best, he's
Smith,
Aaron Loop. Yeah,
yeah,
Drew
Drew
Smith has
Smith
been a
has been
major
crap.
disappointment,
Yep.
including the suspension, which didn't help. I don't know, man. It's yeah, yeah.
Ottavino's
You
been
absolutely trade
garbage.
Robertson. What's that?
Ottavino's been garbage.
Garbage.
Yep.
So you don't think they'll deal? Or he's already said he's not going to deal Justin or Max. I would love to
There
get
was
some
some
prospects
there
for
was
them.
some report that said that they're not going to deal from their core, which is like Nemo, McNeil, Lindor, Pete, Max, Justin, and uh, they're
Yeah,
obviously
who?
the kids aren't going anywhere, right?
Right.
So
I'd hope not.
if they can move Marte or Canna, if they can move Pham, if they can move um, Vogelbach, which I doubt it because he's another one that's tanked this team this year. He's
Yep.
a 270-pound anchor of this on this offense. So, and then JD Davis comes out the other day and totally
Yeah.
shits on us for the
Well,
last 2 years.
is he wrong? I mean, I was going to bring up that article because I just read it, but he's like, I had what do you say? I had 6 GMs when I was there. I had 4 managers, 4 hitting coaches. You know,
And
it's been
he
turmoil.
said
So
I hit a home run and I'd be on the bench the next day.
yeah,
Yeah, stupid.
but he also got hurt at the wrong times. I feel like every time he was going to break out, he like broke his hand. I don't know. It's just shit luck, and it's always shit luck with this team.
Always. And so I do think that's why again it's prudent that Steve's like we're not making any knee jerk reactions, we're not making any
Yeah.
knee jerk trades. We're gonna assess what we think we can. We're gonna try and get these guys who have done this before, that have proven track records to try and hit their career norms because no one is on pace to hit their career norm this year except for maybe Lindor. Everyone else, maybe Pete, but I mean Pete's batting average is way down. So it's just been difficult season.
It's been super difficult. I don't know what else to say. You want to move on to some more fun stuff? You want to talk some NBA?
Yeah, let's talk NBA. Let's talk about um, Brooklyn Nets moves that they've made and what we think they may be doing. And do you want to talk about the Knicks at all? Have you done any research on your beloved
I
New York
figured we would
Knickerbockers?
live. I figured live. I figured we would lead. This farmhouse sale is only 4%. I'm not drunk. Not drunk. Um,
Yet.
yes, I figured we would leave with the big signing. The New York Knicks have brought in Donnie DiVincenzo.
Oh my
Woo!
God! So you guys are trying to recreate that Villanova championship team, huh?
They
With
are.
Josh Hart and DiVincenzo and
Mm-hmm.
Brunson.
And Brunson.
Uh, yeah, are they going to hire Jay Wright to come take over
Bring
the
him
team?
in. I'm sure he'll work great under Dolan.
Yes, exactly.
And
So
is Isaiah still there? Yeah. Welcome to the family, Jay.
I think Isaiah is actually on the Clippers, dealing
No,
with the
yeah,
Clippers now.
he's off fucking something else up.
He's
But
ruining. I think that had something to do with he had something to do with the Chris Paul trade. So maybe
yeah,
he's
sure,
no, I think he's in Phoenix. That's where he is. So he's fucking some other franchise up.
perfect. They're going down in flames. All right. So anyway, all jokes aside, you guys are kind of involved in the Dame rumors. Now, you got me excited yesterday when you gave me a shout. Brooklyn's not getting Lillard,
No,
right?
and
No.
nor do we want him. As a fan, I don't want a 32-year-old point guard that we aren't ready to compete. If we got Dame, sure, we'd probably be the fifth or sixth seed, maybe the fourth
Yep.
seed, and we would maybe win around, but we're not winning the
But
championship.
yeah, you'd be Blazers East, so he would probably
Right.
be instantly unhappy. So he wants to go somewhere where he's happy.
He wants to
He's
go to
picked Miami.
Miami. Miami or bust, which I think makes total sense for his trajectory. Him and Jimmy
Hmm.
Buckets are about the same age,
Yep.
and they got Bam as their front court presence,
And they
and
have Riley and Spolstra, which makes such a difference. So
it does.
just
And they find a way to retool every year. They have, they I think they're the best developmental team in the NBA. They
yeah,
get guys in the second round and unrestricted, guys that are not even undrafted guys, and
yeah,
they
man.
turn them into rotational players.
You know,
So,
talking to Heat fans this year, that I think what they're calling them the nobodies, right?
yeah,
You know,
my little
dragged them to the finals. Jimmy and the nobodies.
yeah, my little brother-in-law is a Heat fan. Funny because he lives in Orange County, California, but he's a big Jimmy Butler fan, and he
Is
was
that
telling me,
allowed in LA? Like, wow.
you know what though? I got to give him credit. He told me all year that they were gonna make a run to the finals, and they fucking did.
He
They
called it in.
did.
Wow.
He did, and I'm maybe a blind faith, but he's
Sure.
pretty knowledgeable when it comes to the Heat. So he's been singing their praises all year. I didn't think they had a chance in hell, and they turned it on in the playoffs. And why
They
wouldn't
did.
Dame want to go there? So anyway, that all being said, the rumor being floated about is Dame, a three-way deal with Dame going to Miami, and somehow Tyler Hero ending up in Brooklyn. And I don't know what else would have to go where or how, but I'm all for it.
I
Uh,
mean, first of all, because I don't totally remember where you guys are with the roster. Do you need another shooting guard badly? Because
yes, we
you have
just
Bridges and Simmons, right?
well Simmons is a point guard or point forward, and Bridges is a small forward. He plays the three or can play the three.
Oh, okay, I
So
thought they had him at the two sometimes too. All right,
yeah, he
that
can play the
works.
two or the three. But we just traded Joe Harris and his contract, so he's no
Oh, I
longer
missed that.
a
Oh,
cha- a play.
via Cone.
Yeah, we just traded Patty Mills and his contract, and Seth Curry left as a free agent. So what
Yeah,
was a plethora of shooting
vets.
shooting
Yeah.
guard veteran shooting guards has now become none.
Okay,
And I don't
that
know. We
works.
don't have anyone besides Bridges, and Bridges he can shoot the three, but that's not really his strong suit. It's not.
Right.
I wouldn't say that's his game. He's not like a three
He's a
point
little
guy.
better down low. Okay.
He's good at getting to his spots and
Right.
jumpers and getting to where he can hit his
Okay.
shot. He's definitely. I mean, he can hit a three. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think that's like. I wouldn't call him a 3-and-D guy. I wouldn't call him like a 3-point specialist.
Yeah.
The three guys I just talked about, those guys are 3-point specialists for the most part.
Is Dinwiddie still around? By the way.
Dinwiddie is still on the team.
Okay, he's
Yes.
coming back. All right.
He's coming back. We re-signed Cam Johnson, the other piece that we got in the Durant
Yeah.
trade.
All right.
So he just signed a 4-year deal extension. And we got Claxton and DFS right now is probably our starting power forward, but
Yeah.
I think they're looking to move one between Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal because those are 3-and-D type guys. So I don't know what's going to have to move out to bring Hero in, and I don't know what we'd have to take in or whatnot. But I think
Sounds like Simmons, right?
I don't know. I don't know if we'd have to move Simmons, and I don't know who's taking Simmons unless we're attaching a lot of draft capital to move that contract. And I think at this point, after moving the between Harris and Patty Mills, we just moved almost 25 million of salary for the upcoming season, and I don't think we've created another trade. So we have almost 100 million in trade exceptions right now.
I was gonna
Where
say you guys must be like close to the floor at this point, right?
still over the cap because Simmons
Oh,
and
you are.
Dinwiddie, yeah, we're still over the cap, but we're
Hmm.
below the luxury tax finally. But I think moving those guys out, creating the big trade exception, we can take a big contract back now and have it not be equal. So
James
you
Harden. James Harden. Do it. Do it, James Harden.
ruining another. I mean, dude, ruining another franchise. Three of the most selfish people in the NBA on one team. I guess people definitely said it wouldn't work, and they were right. But we don't need to be revisionists here. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. It's exciting to think about something like that. I think that would make us again pretty much the same deal as if we got Dame, a 6 or 7 seed five, 5, 6, or 7 seed in the East with that lineup and a full season together under Jock Vaughn. And I'd like to see how it shakes out. I'd like to see if we can land Tyler Hero, but if not, I don't really know what else we're doing. We made some minor moves. We
Yeah,
signed Dennis Smith Jr. to a 1 year deal and Lonnie
that's
Walker the
exciting.
fourth.
Speaking
Not
of
really,
Porzingis, no,
not
it's not.
really exciting at all. Not at all.
No.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how those Brooklyn Nets play this year. They're not going to win anything. I don't
Well,
think they're
they,
going.
they, they seem they seem mediocre,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
pretty much.
maybe where you don't want to lock yourself into that mid tier. What other teams would do something like that?
The
Wait, let's look at Mike's cap. They might be a good example of maybe not hanging out in the eighth seed for a decade. Hmm.
Oh wait,
Oh, wait. We have some country club contracts to pass out. Who
yes
wants
we
to
do.
stay here for 7 more years? Everybody?
Everybody.
Everybody!
Let's talk about that, Douglas. How do you feel about
Oh, I
what
got the
what the
Boogaloo flu, baby.
how do you feel about what Lou did the past couple of
Oh,
days?
Lou. I feel like we should do a segment on each of these contracts over the next 4 episodes. Honestly, that was a lot yesterday.
But let's
Yeah,
talk about it.
yeah.
What do you
You
hate
want to
about
start with
it?
the good? You want to start with the good? We got Sorokin locked up for 825 for 8 years. That's incredible to me. To me, as a hockey fan. No, I mean like Shesterkin's going to get at least that right next year, if not more. It's less
Definitely.
than the Bob contract, which I figured he might get. Like he might, I figured he might be able to ask for up to 10. So I love this contract. 8 years, 8.25. Ilya Sorokin locked in. They gave his buddy too many years to hang around, but I don't really care about that one.
Well, come on,
That
four
of course is
years,
Varlamov.
4 years at 2.75. What serviceable backup goaltender are you getting for that?
It's always the term with me. four
And
years, fine,
you
whatever.
got to figure that first of all, Varlamov. First of all, let's finish up Sorokin. It's a
Yes,
steal. It's puts the anxiety of playing this last year before unrestricted free agency to bed, and he is by far our best player. And our best player is now locked up for the next 9 years because the contract doesn't kick in until 2024.
yes.
So I got no complaints with that contract.
And even though goalies are kind of variable, they're kind of like relief pitchers year to year. This guy, I think, has proven enough that you're confident he's going to be a top five goalie for at least the next 5 years.
Varlamov played great last year. He didn't have as much of a
Last year,
workload.
Varlamov, uh,
Yeah, I mean when he wasn't
did he?
injured, he played
Oh,
well. And the year
like he
before, in his 35, 36 year or 34, 35 year, but by the time he's at the end of that term, 9 years from now, hopefully we've drafted someone and they've come up and they'll be the next guy to take the torch and he'll
not
be
complaining
playing
about the Sorokin term. You're
40.
confusing me. You're going back and
I
forth
know.
between Varlamov and Sorokin.
I'm getting to
Um,
my point here. So
okay.
by that time, he'll be 36, and we'll have a guy in the pipeline. If we don't trade all of our first round picks over the
Isn't
next.
Varlamov already like 35?
Varlamov is 35, so he'll play till he's 39, which we've seen goalies play into their 40s. If he's only going to play 20 to 30 games a year, at the later stages of his career, he should be
It's not
okay.
terrible. It's
It's
not
not
terrible.
terrible at 2.75 million.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. It's
And
not
so
terrible.
add Sorokin's plus Varley's, it's 11 total.
Yes.
And even if you got Sorokin at 11 a year and there's 80 games of Sorokin, I think you take that. So it's not terrible. So,
And think about this: the last 4 years, the last 3 years, we've paid 9 million for our goalies,
yep.
and so to only have to give a $2 million raise.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't great to begin with, but that's another story. Lou gets an A from me for Sorokin, and he gets a B minus for Varlamov contract. How about you?
I'm totally fine with both of them.
Okay.
I think if for the amount of money we gave Varlamov for 4 years, in the fourth year, unless he gets injured and he's just a waste, and then we can put him on LTIR, right? But I don't care about our backup goalie and the term, right? It's fine. What are we going to do? Resign Thomas Grice? You know, the two of those guys are happy
Yes.
together. The two of those guys are happy together. Let them be happy together,
Thomas
right?
Grice is awesome when he's on the island. What was I going to say? Yeah, the thing with all this with Lou is the cap better go up going
Well,
forward.
they're
It
expecting
better.
a huge jump next year.
I know they are, but they've said that before. So
Well, this is fine. We're
that's got
finally
to
going to
work out.
be we're going to be 4 years removed from the COVID year, and we should see an increase because we haven't had a major increase in 4 years, and we had two of those 4 years of a straight flat. So we had a flat cap for two
Yeah.
years, and I think we've had like literally $1 million increase last year and $1 million increase this year. So only two. The Players Association wants they need more money, right? They need more money. So I
The
think we'll
owners
see.
claim they lost a lot.
I mean, every owner
Yeah.
claims they lose a lot every year. Shut the fuck
Right.
up. You're going to
Right.
sell the franchise for tenfold what you paid for it. Give me a break. And you write everything off in the interim if there is losses, or at least paper losses.
Spoken
So,
like a CEO.
so
By the way,
true.
is anybody watching? Do we have comments? I always ask way too late.
Your sister was on about I don't know. It looks like
So
fucking
you could see
half an
people's
hour ago.
names.
Yeah, Hillary wrote something when we were talking about Texas. Do it. You'll learn to love the heat. That was her comment. So
Yeah, man, you got
yeah,
to stay on top of those. Are they
we
not in
were.
front of you?
I ran inside to get the drink, and by the time I came out, it was gone. It was up, and it was why. But
Oh, so
yes, it's right.
it just pops up. In other words,
Yeah, there's a whole chat box that they can jump in and have. We could
so
chat with them if we wanted to. So,
yeah, because
so
my
I
my chat box is empty. That's weird.
well, this is on the live stream on YouTube. They're not
Oh,
on. Yeah,
not
you'd
on
have to
Iris. Got it.
no, because no one can log into Iris unless we invite them.
We should people.
We should invite people and
We
just let
had
them sit in the background.
yeah,
So
the talking shit. So
overall, goaltending's locked up for the next 4 to 8 years.
yeah,
Uh, I give it overall an A. It's our best fucking players locked up at a below market contract for the next 9 years. I'm not going to complain. That contract in 5 years is going to be a boon unless there's some sort of injury for right.
I mean,
So
we're on. This is our year. Nothing bad happens to our teams.
right, exactly. Right, exactly. So let's talk about Mayfield, buddy. This is, or do you want to talk about Engvall first? Because you hate the Mayfield one the most.
Oh, dude. All right,
Let's
fine.
save Mayfield
Well,
for
look.
the end.
No. I mean, I don't want to even pick on these guys because I kind of like them, but so I did what I was going to say. I checked the free agent tracker so far, the entire league. Who's getting what? Like, what kind of contracts are being handed out? Timo Meyer got what 8 years, 8.8. Bookmark that one because we have to talk about that one. But anyway, so like he's a star player. Like those guys get like the 8 to 7 years, right? Matty Duchesne yesterday got 3 mil, but I heard he wanted to stay like right down there in the South. Like he went from Nashville to Dallas. He wasn't coming to the island. He would have been perfect here, but oh well. So anyway, I went through every single free agent that was signed so far. UFA, not RFA, and which Engvall and Mayfield were. And the closest to these contracts that I see for a guy who's not like a top tier star, who's like more of a middle sixer or like a second or third pair D, is there are two guys, Ryan Graves and Miles Wood. Miles Wood got 5 years, Ryan Graves got 5 years from different teams. So here we are, being Islanders fans, and we should be used to this because we just got to be weird. We always got to be different, right? Mike Milbury, Garth Snow, Charles Wong, 15 years for Rick DiPietro. So Lou is taking this tack of just locking up the entire bottom of the roster to long-term contracts. No one else is doing it. Is he a visionary, or are we going to be stuck in ninth place because we can't move any contracts for the next decade? The floor is yours.
Well, I think Lou has this is not new.
No.
Lou always cares about the AAV because that's what counts against the cap. He doesn't care about the future because he's probably going to be dead when these contracts expire. So
Okay, but does that?
hold on, at least not the GM, right? At 87, we hope if he's still the GM at 87, that'll be interesting and weird and whatever. We'll get there when we
Yeah,
get there.
we
So
shall.
I think he buys down. You know, he did it with Casey last year,
Yep.
and he did it
It's not
with
lost on me,
no. He's buying
but
down. He's buying down
he's
the
doing it with
AAV.
everyone. You know,
We unfortunately don't have
we
cap
traded all our
space,
prospects too. So
and that's the other thing. So
yeah,
who
there's no picks
we could
coming.
have we could have plug and played. We could have taken Engvall, who's playing in our top. He's playing in our top six. He's not in our middle six. I guess he is in our middle six essentially, but he's a winger on our second line. Played played quite well last
Played very
year.
well with Nelson and Palms, I believe.
Yes, and that'll be our second line rolling into the year. Now, could he have gotten 4 or 5 million out on the open market? I don't think he's getting 5 million. Could he have gotten 3.5 or 4? I think he
Maybe.
probably could have on a shorter deal.
Yeah.
We couldn't, unfortunately, we couldn't pay him more than what we paid him. We couldn't pay him more than 3 million a year. So how do you get a guy to come a hometown discount? You give him
Yeah.
some more
You give him
years.
7 years, and honestly, okay. So let's talk about Engvall. He's actually a guy that this team needed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's like a great player, but he's one of the few players who can skate faster than uh, Trent Hunter. So that helps. Like he, but people give him credit, I guess, for his physical game, but he's also come from Toronto, where it's like dissected like the Knicks and the Yankees. So I'm sure he's happy to be here. Lou loves him. Lou's obviously doubling down on this dude.
Well, he drafted
Um,
him.
that's right. So it makes sense. He gets the country club contract. He gets he gets to be a part of this crew by Josh Bailey, by the way. So again, we have to like shed assets to get rid of these contracts, and I feel like that's just going to happen here with contracts like Mayfield. Engvall, though, I'm not mad about. Engvall, I give like a B2. I think that's it. At least I didn't exactly. I wanted something better, right? Because we want that DeBrincat trade to happen. We still have to add him forward, but I'm fine with Engvall being here. How about you?
Yeah. Look, man. Unfortunately, we sealed our deal with the devil about
Yeah,
3 years ago. Maybe
literally the devil,
maybe
Lou
4 years
Lamoriello.
ago. Yeah. So this was always the path, and it's going to take. I'm not thinking about like 2031, right, or 2030 or 2031 when these
Yeah.
contracts are up, and maybe there are going to be some dark years in at the end of that. But right now, there was no other way to improve this franchise unless you brought in lesser talent and tried to plug them in on a second line.
Yeah.
You can get a second line winger on a 1 or 2 year deal for $3 million that is going to put up possibly 20 goals and 20 assists. And we don't
Mm,
have anyone in the system
no,
that could do it unless you think Wallstrom is going to make the move, which I
he
don't think
better.
he is. I don't think he is because he's coming off. He already was slow and basically a post up shooter, and now he's not. He's not going to be moving any faster with coming off an ACL. And you
Yeah.
know what are we going to get? What were you going to get for $3 million? Look at the guys that signed. I don't know what the term was. Look at the guys that signed as forwards for $3 million. You're looking at like third and
Well,
fourth
other
line.
than Duchesne, of course, which I guess was a special case. And by the way,
Right,
the fact that Barry bought him out says a lot. I don't know if like I don't think he was ever an option for the Islanders.
right.
Look, that's fair. I mean, just Engvall is what
26,
he
27.
yeah, and he's never really had a breakout year.
He was also
So
playing third line center in
uh,
Toronto. I don't think
I
he was
just
playing wing.
I would love if he had like upside to have like a Grabner or 2 year where he like comes out of with 30 goals out of nowhere. I'd feel a little better. But again, he moves the puck. The list of guys who can move the puck are Barzal, Aho, and I guess Engvall. So hey, I'm okay. It's so weird. 7 years for everybody. It's
But you got
and
to figure, think, this is the one thing I want you to think about because
uh-huh.
we're so hung up on this term. If the cap, let's just say, for argument's sake, the cap goes up 4 million, is what they're saying it's probably going to go up this year, is $4 million in 2024. That's already
That's
okay. So
huge.
now, so we're going from 2023 to 2024. That's a $4 million increase in the first year of that term being eliminated. 6 years, over the course of those 6 years, that cap should go up. Let's just say it goes up only $1 million a year every year after that.
Hmm.
So how can you've gained $10 million in cap
Hmm.
just because the years have graduated, right? So
You
that
know who's
three
getting that
million,
4 million next year?
uh,
You do.
Noah Dobson.
5-year contracts for Matt Martin and Cal Clutterbuck.
Those guys will finally be gone,
Will they?
and
Will they?
I, I think, I mean, maybe Martin comes back for 1 year,
uh,
and we'll see. I don't think Cal's got another year after this one left in him. I think
you,
he would have
you know
retired.
I love these guys, by the way, but I'm kidding on Lou. Like,
Yeah, 7 years,
God.
$7 million for both of them.
Right.
But
Why not? What are we doing
wow,
here? Sebastian
yeah,
Aho, 7 years.
7 million. So I
Hmm.
don't know, man. I don't know, but so same. So we can, let's roll into Mayfield here because
Okay.
I think we can get 15 to 20 goals out of Angball, 15 to 20 assists,
Yeah.
plus five, averaging 20 minutes
Yeah.
of ice time a
And
night.
if that line is good, then he's a bargain, honestly. So,
Right.
okay.
You're not plugging a $3 million guy for this year or next on the second line that's going to give you that kind of production, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. 30-year-old defenseman with not much offensive game. Loves to ice the puck. Scotty Mayfield, our boy. 7 more years. Dude, this one we're going to lose a second round pick over. Guarantee you.
In 2033, we'll send a second round pick to
Yeah,
the
that's true.
Arizona or
Yeah,
to
like
the Atlanta Coyotes.
they won't be able to
To
make ice in Arizona in 2033. So you're right.
right,
Fuck it. Fuck it.
right, dude. I mean, at this point, he brings something to the defense core that we don't have, and we don't have in the system. I was starting to talk myself into, well, maybe Grant Hutton could replace him for the
Mm,
league minimum,
no,
but I don't think so, man. And that
but I
I think
mean
that
we have Romanov.
look, we need that crease clearing guy. And the difference between Scott Mayfield and Alexander Romanov is about 4 inches and 30 pounds. So, yes, Romanov is a willing guy to put the hit on, but his body is more Kasperitis sized.
It is,
Mayfield is Brandon Witt size. You're going to come in front of that crease. You're going to get cross checked until either
which is why
have.
he's in the box a lot.
You need that though. You need
No,
that
I know. Look,
physicality.
I don't want to. I'm glad Scotty's going to be around. I don't want to shit on him, but like 3-5 for 7 years, just like
Again,
yeah.
again, what were you
Maybe you're right.
getting?
Maybe I'm part of the nerd crew that like goes on Cap Friendly and looks at all the contracts
What were you going
stacked
to
up.
get? What were you
It's
going to
just
get
that
from
like
someone outside the
hope
system?
we like this team because it's going to be like a carbon copy every year, the same roster.
And but
That's all.
what I can tell you is I agree with what you're saying. I think that this team is it's going to be a slow fucking painful death. At some point we're going to
I
be
think it's already happening, man.
maybe I want to see I actually I'm excited to see what a full season of Horvat with
Horvat
Barzal
get
on the wing,
Yeah, Horvat gets a
and
full year.
I'd like to see whether Bulldog or Aho is going to be that left
Yeah,
hand puck moving sixth defenseman opposite Mayfield, and I want to see Engvall for a full year as well. Our fourth line is intact, and that brings us to the last thing we're going to talk about here: is do we want to talk about the DeBrincat possibility?
I mean, the more you talk about it, the more you're setting us up just for pain when he goes to Boston or whatever. He won't go to Boston, sorry, but you know what I mean.
Right.
like Anaheim. I
Bless me.
will absolutely change my tone if they can pull that off. That is exactly what this team needs. A guy who can put up 40, but not only put up 40, actually like shoot on the power play, which good God, they're so bad that the
Well,
power
I
play is a
think
mess. And it's perfect. And if you're getting rid of JPG's contract, even better because that's going to be an albatross in about a year or two as well. That's another Josh Bailey special coming down the pike. I think it's too good to be true, but
I think that you are probably correct that it's too good to
but
be true. I think
a
that
lot of
you're
teams
probably,
can't afford 8 mil, right?
and I think so. I was doing some more reading on it this morning because I hear your side of the coin. Why? What do we have to offer Ottawa that
Right.
can't be bettered by another team out there? And I think this is a convoluted trade because he likes apparently he likes Ottawa, he likes the team, but he wants either
He,
to
he
get
wants Meyer
overpaid
money.
right now, he
Yeah.
wants to be overpaid with term right now, or he's going to take arbitration and go to unrestricted free agency
Yeah. So
to
he
try
wants
and
the
get
eight
paid.
years now, right? Or he's going UFA.
That's what it
Yeah.
seems like. His agent is telling him you we can just play in one more year and then
Or I
Ottawa
guess it would
does
be
not want.
9 years, right? It would be
Yeah,
like Sorokin.
so
Yeah.
Ottawa does not want to give him the term.
Yeah.
So that is the problem right now. Is Ottawa doesn't want to give him the term. That's why they said let's go to
I
they
wonder why they
usually
don't.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to lock up that much money into a winger when they got a bunch of young guys coming up that'll be due for extensions in a couple years. That's probably my guess, right? But he's
Yeah.
still young himself. He's only 25.
Dude, he's
So
perfect for this Islander roster. He really
he's
is.
perfect. He is the top line winger that we've
Yeah.
been begging for the last 5 years,
And
right?
and I mean, let's calm down a little. He's not like a world beater guy, but he is the exact piece that this roster is missing.
He's everything, in my opinion. And I haven't watched a lot of his game. I've just been reading
Yeah.
about him, but he is everything that Wallstrom hasn't developed into.
Yeah.
He's got a
That's fair.
great shot. He's got a great shot. He's put the puck in the net on a consistent basis. He's got a 40-goal season before the age of 25, um, and he's on the small side. But if you
He's
got
on the small.
Horvat, if you got Horvat in the middle, you got Barzal controlling the puck movement and drawing the defense around him, and then you got DeBrincat posting up at the circle and just waiting for those one timers.
With Dobson at the point, especially on the power play, that's going to be hard to deal with. You're
And
right.
I just want to say this about the power play. There was a lot of iterations of the power play last year, right? There was a lot, and in the beginning of the year, we were actually decent on the power play. Our
Hmm.
power play tanked in the second half of the year,
So
and
bad.
somewhat coincided with Wallstrom getting injured. Now I know he wasn't on that top unit, but he was playing on the power play on the top unit
He
at
was.
times, doing exactly what I just said,
He was.
posting
Yeah.
up in the circle and waiting for that one timer. And he had a couple of power play goals before he got hurt. He
That's a
just
great
has
point.
not.
Like he had like 6 goals in like October, November last year, right? Like real
Yeah,
quick, like right off the bat. Mm,
his injury I think was very underrated on
yeah.
how our offense performed for the rest of the year.
I like his
And
game. I like his
I
game
love
when
his
when
game.
he's on the ice.
I think Wallstrom. I'm a big fan. I just wish
He's almost like
that
too aggressive though. Like he keeps getting himself hurt. Like he like
yes,
he, he was going after a big hit right when he tore his ACL. He like launched himself at somebody.
he did,
So
and he got upended because the guy like
yeah,
ducked out of the way and hit
right. So
his knee like
hopefully he learns
buckled.
from that, but
So that's what it
could
comes
be a
down to,
hothead.
Doug. It's either going to be JG Wallstrom's got to be a part of this deal to Ottawa. He would be the prospect or the player that would make sense with JG,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and they'd
But
have to move
you'd have
one.
to add another pick, right? First round pick.
I'm sure we'd have to dump a first round pick, and either Ross the Boss would go to them, or we bury him in the minor leagues,
Yeah.
and one of the two sixth or seventh defenseman, either Baldock or Aho would have to move out, or Hutton, one of those three. Well, it would have to be one of those two because they're going to be guaranteed roster spots.
Or like Callie Odelius. But yeah, dude, it's it's an okay package. Again, they're doing us a lot of favors taking all that contract.
They
So
got to make
you'd
it
have to
work.
send him a lot.
I think they want Pajot back. I think wasn't he their captain when they traded him to us? So
It's
he's
possible.
I'm pretty sure he was their captain when they
Yeah.
traded JG to us. And those were the dark years, right? He kind of was. I think he was the captain
Well, no,
after.
I mean he was on a team that went on a run in the playoffs for Ottawa. Like he was the Rangers' nightmare. I remember.
But he played through a lot of those dark years, like
Yeah,
when
no.
they were
By the time he was traded, they sucked ass. Absolutely.
right, right.
Um, I
So
love JG too, but like again, Lou collects all these dudes, loyal to a fault, and I don't know if we can get over the top with this. So DePringet might do it though.
hey, and
I
if it
hope
takes
it happens.
a first, second, and third, I'm here for it. But to your point, well, we're not sure if it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we'll
Sorry for all
see.
the hockey, everybody, but
Whatever.
July
It's
1st.
better. It's better than talking Mets baseball right now.
Oh God, football will be here in a few weeks. I hope,
It
maybe.
will be. It will be. So, Douglas, what do we got to say? What
Yeah,
do we got to
man.
say?
I feel like we covered this already. You had a really good Viacom. Joe Harris.
No,
I was thinking Josh Bailey.
I
I
think
don't
that's
know.
a perfect one.
Yeah, dude. Like Josh Bailey, Viacom Diaz. Always a frustrating player, but like, dude, kind of a semi Islanders legend and been around since quick. Who was president when he debuted?
Bill Clinton.
All right, fair. You got me. It was the guy after him, George W. Bush. Still a long ass time ago. Vaya con Diaz,
Viacon
Josh.
Diaz. Enjoy Nashville.
Show us your war face one more time. And yes, you're right. Enjoy Nashville, Josh. I don't know what I'm
All
talking
right.
about.
All right, Dougie. It's been a great show, audience. We'll see you hopefully next week, but it's the summertime.
Maybe not.
Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
We'll
Depends on how
see.
shitty the Mets
Maybe
play this week.
Saturday if I'm not
Maybe
hungover.
Saturday. Yeah, or maybe getting drunk on a Saturday. Until next
Bye,
time.
guys. Happy 4th.